What is up, guys? It is your boy, Bad Dog, and as you can see by the name of the title, this is obviously about Eli Manning. There has been so many people say to me all the time, Bad Dog, what the hell do we keep Eli Manning for? Why Eli Manning? Why did we trade Odell Beckham, man? What was the point of trading Odell Beckham? He's not the problem. It's the 38-year-old quarterback that can't get out of his own way, getting $23 million a year. What the hell do we keep him for? People are pissed off about this. What is Gettleman doing? We're supposed to be rebuilding. How are we going to rebuild a 38-year-old quarterback? Well, let me preface this video with this. Number one, Eli Manning is one of my favorite Giants of all time. Number two, do I think his best days are behind him and it's time to move on from Eli Manning? Yes, I've thought that since probably week 4 of last year, that it was time to move on from him. But what are we going to do? I mean, that's the whole thing. All you guys that want to get rid of Eli Manning, where do we go for a quarterback? Do you want Alex Tandy to start? Even if we cut Eli Manning this year and save the $17 million, I mean, what were we going to get in free agency? Most of the high-priced free agents we couldn't have afforded anyway. You know, going into next year, we're going to have a ton of cap space. And that's when you can address the quarterback spot. But what did you want to do? Did you want to sign Nick Foles? Did you want to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick? You know, did you want to sign a Blake Bortles or a Teddy Bridgewater? Are these the guys that you wanted as stopgap quarterbacks during this season? Do you want to draft Dwayne Haskins and have him come in and start week 1? What were we supposed to do? You see, the way I look at it is this, man. The Giants, not that they can't win this year, but obviously they're going through a transition phase. And whether Eli Manning is there or not, it's going to be the same result, right? If we're going to draft the Dwayne Haskins, it's probably better for him to sit behind an Eli Manning and learn about the NFL, because what better person to train him or to, teach him is a guy like Eli Manning, who's played in the toughest market, who's been criticized more than any quarterback in the history of the Giants, although he's the greatest quarterback in the history of the New York Giants. So he's probably great to learn under. People are going to say you're paying a mentor $23 million, and I get that. I get both sides of it. I don't know what the hell we're doing with the quarterback spot. I really don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know what's going on this year. There's all this talk about Dwayne Haskins coming here. Then there's talk about they don't want Kyler Murray. The first 3 mock drafts I saw, the Giants were taking Kyler Murray. Then all the mock drafts came out after Dwayne Haskins said he wanted to be a Giant, and he's going to be a Giant. Now, all of a sudden, the Giants don't scout him. They're not interested in him. Now they're talking to Kyler Murray. There's pro day. Now it's Kyler Murray. Will the Giants trade up to get Kyler Murray? There's still a bunch of guys talking about Dwayne Haskins. And all the while, we probably aren't going to draft the quarterback this year, and I'd be fine with that, to be honest. I want defense on this team. There's talk now that Miami went out and got Ryan Fitzpatrick and traded Ryan Tannehill, that they may be in on Josh Rosen. There's talk about Miami trading up to number 6 with the Giants. Listen, man, there was talk about that before. I saw a mock draft months ago. Maybe not months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago or so. I said the Giants could trade back with Miami, get their 2nd-round pick this year and their 1st-round pick next year. I would do that, man. If we could trade back with a Cincinnati or a Miami and get their 1st-round pick next year and their 2nd-round pick this year, I'm in for that. I'm in. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to get a Devin White at 11 or 13, but we could definitely get an impact defensive player. This draft is loaded with defensive players. But everybody's so down on Eli Manning all the time, man. And like I said, I don't know what you guys want to do. What are we supposed to do? Eli Manning's really the only option at quarterback this year. And I get it, man. A lot of the younger generation, they're all hyped up. They love the flashy player. He's fun to watch. He was a great player for the Giants. He's one of the most talented receivers in the league. He's the most talented receiver we ever saw. People want to blame Eli Manning for their shortcomings. They don't want to blame Odell Beckham for all the problems that the Giants had in the locker room, for all the losing that went on. They constantly want to blame Eli. They want to say it's Eli's fault. Eli. That's what they want to do. So when we traded Odell Beckham, obviously, what the hell are we keeping Eli Manning for, man? He sucks. But again, what were we going to do, man? You can't trade Eli Manning. They're not going to cut Eli Manning. It's not going to happen. They weren't going to do that. They're not going to do that to him, man. The guy means way too much to this franchise for them to just dump him out like trash. It ain't going to happen. Do I want to change a quarterback? Yes, I do. But there's no way that they're going to do that to him, especially after the whole Geno Smith debacle. There's no way. After that happened, if that didn't happen, you might have seen the Giants cut ties with Eli Manning. You might have. But after that happened, after the embarrassment, after all the crap that went on for that whole thing, you're not going to see the Giants release him. They're not going to cut him, man. It's not going to happen. The only feasible way they'd ever get rid of Eli Manning is if they went out and traded for Josh Rosen, because Josh Rosen's already started. He wouldn't have to sit behind Eli for a year. But if they draft Dwayne Haskins or they trade up and draft Kyler Murray, and I really don't even want them to do that, they're not going to start week one. They're going to sit behind Eli Manning, just like Eli Manning sat behind Kurt Warner. That's just what it is. But is that what you guys wanted to do? Did you want to get rid of Eli Manning and bring in a stopgap quarterback that we still would have had to pay $10, $12 million? We're only saving $5 million in cap space. Was that the answer there? Did you want to start Alex Tanny all year? I mean, those are the only options. We would save $17 million on Eli Manning. But I don't even see what Ryan Fitzpatrick got from the Dolphins. I didn't see the contract, but I got to imagine it's $10, $12 million. I mean, I have to imagine it's somewhere there. So if quarterback's going to cost us $10 million, we're not going to save much anyway. So the question about why the hell do we keep Eli Manning, I'm just saying there's no other options at quarterback, man. There just isn't. There just isn't. And we're going to have to suffer through this year, but I will say this much. The offense looked a lot better in the second half of the season. It did. You can say that that's not on Eli Manning. They started running the ball more effectively, and Eli didn't have to do as much. But that's the whole point. When we went into last year, I was all saying, we can still win 9 games because now that we have a running back, Eli Manning don't need to throw the ball 45 times, and he shouldn't have to throw the ball 45 times. The Giants have built that offensive line. They added Zeitler. Obviously, they got Solder last year, and they picked up Will Hernandez, and they're probably going to address the right tackle either in the draft. They're probably going to address the right tackle in the draft now. But, they're building the offensive line, so Eli Manning don't have to throw the ball 40 times. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. That's what the Giants always did. If Eli Manning throws the ball 25 times a game instead of 45 times a game, we have a chance. But I always hear that thing, and especially when it happened with Odell Beckham. The whole Odell Beckham thing, people were pissed about it, and they're like, why are you holding on to Eli Manning, man? It's Eli Manning's fault. And Eli Manning's a big part of the problems on offense. But again, you get the last 8 games of the season, we could have easily been 6-2 those last 8 games. We were 4-4, and we were scoring points. We were scoring points with Odell Beckham, without Odell Beckham. The Giants found that on offense, except for that game against the Titans. Giants did well on offense the second half of the season. I'm not, there's a lot of people saying the Giants are going to tank. The Giants aren't going to be good this year, but the more I look at it, really, besides Odell Beckham, what the hell do we lose on offense? We made the offensive line better, got Sterling Shepard back, got Saquon Barkley back, got Evan Ingram back, right? Got Corey Coleman back. We got the same guys back. We had a Golden Tate. What's different except the offensive line got better, and there's no Odell Beckham. And we didn't have Beckham the last 4 games of the season anyway, and the Giants scored 102 points in 4 games. I mean, that's fine. It's an average of 25.5 points. They got shut out one game, and Beckham wasn't going to change that. It was a cold, windy day there. It was a terrible day. The Giants are horrible. But those other games, they scored 40, 27, and 35. And the last 2 games of the season, the defense blew it at the end of the game. So the Giants could, like I said, they could have been 6-2. But that's all I ever hear about is, why the hell did they keep Eli Manning? Well, that's why they kept Eli Manning, man. They're not going to cut him. They're not going to release him. They're not going to trade him. They're going to let him play out this season. They're going to let him finish his career as a New York Giant. It's just a classy thing to do. And like I said, the more I look at it, I don't think we really downgraded that much in offense, man. I know everybody loves Odell Beckham. I know he's a superstar. I know he's exciting. But I'm telling you right now, the Giants' offense was fine without him. We improved this offensive line and start running the ball a lot better and protect Eli Manning. This offense can play. That's why in this draft I want defense, 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 defense. That's why I want all the damn defense, because the defense was the problem last year. Now we don't have Landon Collins. Now we don't have Olivier Vernon. Not that we had Vernon most of the time anyway. He's always hurt. But we got to address this defense. It's got to be done. The Giants can address defense and get a little better on defense. The offense can score 28 points, get 26 points a game, 25 points a game like they did at the end of the year. The second half of the season, they might have averaged 28 points a game. They could be okay. I'm not, maybe I'm looking at it optimistically. Maybe I'm looking at fool's gold. Maybe I just don't want to believe we're going to tank or going to be horrible again because I'm so sick of being horrible. But I think the Giants really could surprise some people this year. I'm not ready to give up on 2019 yet. We ain't played a game yet. Not ready to give up on it. That's just me. But that's why I think we're keeping Eli Manning. That's all I got to say. Tonight, I am going to do a live Q&A, and I'm actually going to try to take some call-ins and see what happens. If it works, I may do that once a month or something. I'm not going to do it all the time, but hopefully that works. So I'm going to try taking people through Skype. If it works, great. If not, oh well, it'll be no worse for the wear there. Anyway, 10 minutes. I want to get out of here. It's Bad Dog. You have a good day. I'm out. Peace.